Don't grab my neck. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the first ever Raw reaction with the Hammer Brothers. You're here with Brother Ballz.
And I'm Brother Asshole, brother.
Brother Asshole. We are, in this segment, going to talk about our reactions, obviously, to Monday Night Raw leading up into WrestleMania this weekend.
And it's really shaping up to be the shittiest WrestleMania card in history.
I tend to agree with that. It seems when one of our best matches is Shane McMahon and The Undertaker. Probably years ago, that would have been mid-card at best. That seems to be the best thing that's going with this year's WrestleMania.
And there's really no place to go with that match that's going to be any good for anybody. Because if Undertaker wins, so what? You expect it. If Shane McMahon wins, then he further tarnishes The Undertaker's legacy.
Exactly. He's already lost once to Brock Lesnar, which I think made zero sense. I think if you're going to have him lose to somebody, it's Sting, obviously. They're still in talks, actually, in Sting actually coming back, maybe still wrestling and him not retiring, from what I've read online. And, we'll see what happens, obviously. He may play a part this year, in this year's WrestleMania, may interfere.
In my mind, Sting is already retired. After his last match with Seth Rollins, where he just looked terrible, he never should have come back to WWE in the first place.
No, he's slow, obviously, he's getting older. The Triple H match was an embarrassment. That was horrible when he wrestled him in last year's WrestleMania, which was also one of the most god-awful entrances I've ever seen by Triple H with his little Transformer outfit, whatever. It looked like shit. I mean, it looked like a piece of shit walking out there with metal on it. It looked spray paint, looked cheap. I wasn't happy. What did you think about it?
I think Triple H's entrances are some of the worst WrestleMania entrances of all time. You can think back a couple of years to some other entrances that are just terrible. And, they're right up there with some of the John Cena corny, what are they trying to do with this entrances?
Yeah. I remember when CM Punk said he was one of the gangsters riding on the car down the road or down the ramp.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty stupid, too.
Oh, that was awful.
That one is up there. We will probably end up doing maybe a top 10 list of worst John Cena WrestleMania entrances. So let us know in the comments if you would like to see something like that, or maybe just top 10 worst entrances, period, in WrestleMania. Let us know. Let us know what you want to see. These are for you. So keep that in mind. And any other comments before we get started?
I think that's it. Let's get right into the action. So let's talk about the first segment on Raw, where, again, we see The Undertaker's 5-minute entrance.
Oh my goodness.
How many times do we have to see this? And are you still intimidated by it 10 years later?
Let's see. I think we would be lucky if it was 5 minutes. I think the last time we checked, it was closer to 10 minutes. And it may have to do with how old he's getting. He just can't walk any faster. No, I'm not intimidated at all.
Well, you mentioned him getting a little bit older. It also seemed that he may have forgotten his lines at the end of the interview.
Yes, if he looked confused. I know he's supposed to look dead, but his mind looked like it was dead. And no, I'm not just bashing The Undertaker. I love The Undertaker. Always have since I was a kid. But we're at a point in his career. He says this ain't his the last WrestleMania, but please next year be the last one. Play a different part in the company. I think it's time to quit wrestling. But I do think if Shane McMahon will do the moves where he jumped off the turnbuckle on the announce table, if he'll do things like that, that will carry this match and to be somewhat decent.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's going to have to be on Shane's back to carry this match because The Undertaker just can't go the way he used to.
No. I think I think Father Time has tombstoned the Undertaker, and it's just time to look at other career options at that point. I really don't know his financial, his bank statements and his situation, but I think he's okay on money. So time to, and plus he's got Michelle McCool waiting on him at home. So
Yeah. Well, Father Time certainly hasn't passed her up.
No, he's very fortunate to have that. Him literally looking like the dead man now, and her hot as hell. So whatever.
Well, speaking of hot, you sort of mentioned Shane McMahon's six-pack that was revealed.
I know. I wasn't looking at it on purpose, but there was he was kind of stumbling back into the steps. He lifted up the shirt, and I was like, "Holy crap! Is that a six-pack on Shane?" So. I guess he has been doing the workouts and the kickboxing training and stuff, so I guess it is paying off.
It's pretty impressive that at his age, he's going to put in this much effort for just one match.
Right. Obviously, it'll probably help him long-term health benefits
too.
But I think he can still do the moves. We've seen it, and I'm really looking forward to see what he brings to this Hell in a Cell match this weekend. So. We'll see what happens. Go ahead.
So let's take a minute and discuss your favorite announcer, Byron Saxton.
Oh yeah, Byron, I love him. He sucks. Okay, earlier in his career when he was in NXT, he probably had the worst finisher I've ever seen in my life. It kind of started out as a skull-crushing finale, like The Miz does. And it looks like he's getting ready to do some kind of high-impact move, and then just throws them backwards. I can't even describe it. And it's probably the worst low-impact move that wouldn't pin anybody.
I just saw this move for the first time, and I have to agree with you. It's the dumbest-looking thing I've ever seen, and I really think that his announcing career should end with a skull-crushing finale.
True.
Because, honestly, when he's on the microphone, you don't even know he's there.
Every time I hear him, I feel my brain is getting a skull-crushing finale. It is horrible. It's just, it's very monotone. It sucks.
Well, I'm impressed that you can even hear him because I just tune him out, which is fine. It's just like having Michael Cole and JBL on their own, which, they're not that great either. But, Byron is worthless, and he doesn't need to be on there. Bring back
JR. Okay, touching on AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, a little bit here. Of course, I'm not even going to talk about the poor Zack Ryder. They just don't give him a break. He finally gets a win on Raw, and it's quickly just dismissed from AJ Styles.
Yeah, but he is the internet champion, so you have to give him that.
You can't take that away from him.
You'll never get that away from him because you would have to go into his underwear drawer to pull it out, and I think he has it locked up.
Yeah, I believe he does. Touching on this match a little bit, I tend to think that they should have stayed a tag team.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because if you look at the match that they had with the New Day, what was it, 3 weeks ago?
It was.
It was the last match that they had together as a tag team, and it was a WrestleMania quality match.
It was. It was pay-per-view quality. We get it on Monday Night Raw, and then they're dispersed. They make T-shirts. It looks like from that standpoint, they could have sold some T-shirts. But, I guess 1 week's worth of T-shirts. I don't even know if those were available. Did you see them?
I'm assuming that someone bought them for at least a day, but then after that they were gone. So I think what happened in reality was that Chris Jericho decided that he had to make yet another heel turn before WrestleMania, because he always turns heel within a couple of weeks of coming back.
He does. He's a fan favorite, heavy fan favorite. Everybody loves him. The next thing we know, we're getting boring Jericho as a heel turn. I do not like this gimmick. I never was a big fan of it. I like the Save Us the Save Us gimmick he had. Then when he changed it to the Save Me, he turned heel. I thought it was very boring, mediocre. I don't care for him as this type of a heel. I liked him in WCW when he was a heel and he was cocky, arrogant, when he had Ralphus. I think we all remember Ralphus.
Ralphus was the man.
He was. Long live Ralphus.
But I think this is the reason that Chris Jericho can no longer put over AJ Styles the way someone else could is because he loses credibility. Every time he comes back, he stays for maybe a month, maybe 2 months, and he always has this stupid heel turn right in the middle of it. And everybody just knows he's leaving after WrestleMania, so what is the point?
There is no point. The only thing that I could see that would come good out of this is we don't have to see his horrible heel gimmick anymore.
So we've got a huge Divas match coming up at WrestleMania, and I never thought I would say the words huge Divas match, but these new Divas, some of them are better than a lot of the guys.
Yeah, some of them definitely are. I think maybe like Natalia and stuff, people being misused still that have the talent to wrestle but just aren't being used properly. She's become kind of the whipping post, it seems like.
It does seem that way. I really like Sasha Banks. She seems to have the it factor. The crowd loves her. I didn't really like Flair getting the title at first, but she's starting to grow on me a little bit. Becky Lynch, one of the hottest divas, but she doesn't really have a gimmick that I understand.
I think basically the only thing hot is the color of her hair. She is technically sound. She can do the moves. Her wrestling is fine. What is her gimmick? Steampunk, I think.
Is that something related to CM Punk?
It's some kind of punk, that's for sure. I don't get it.
It's a big steamy pile of shit.
Yes, that gimmick is straight up shit. I don't like it. Use her differently, please. As far as Charlotte goes, I honestly think she should keep the title a little bit longer. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Sasha's ready, to be honest with you. I think build her up just a little bit more. I think Charlotte should retain, but we'll just have to see what happens.
I think they're going to give the belt to Sasha Banks just based on the crowd reaction.
I do too. I think she's going to win it just because everybody likes her right now. That's all they chant. I just don't know that she's ready for it. Hopefully she is. I just don't think it will. If not, it could slide the Divas back down the shit slide, and we'll just have to see where they go from there. Divas Revolution, maybe.
They need to get Paige back involved really quick because the three-way battle that they have going on here is not working out too well. But I think if you throw Paige back in there, then we've got something.
Okay, Roman Reigns, give me your thoughts on him.
I think he's the next John Cena, where the McMahons are just going to shove him down our throats. And you can tell by the crowd reaction when they were actually cheering for Triple H every time he got the upper hand on Roman Reigns. He's going to be hated at WrestleMania. He's going to end up being the heel, even though he's supposed to be the face. And it's going to be a major problem for the WWE unless they officially turn him heel.
I would think in order to be like John Cena, though, he would have to actually have some mic skills. I've never heard so much shit ramble out of somebody's mouth that didn't make sense. What do you think about his interviews?
I think they need to take the microphone away from him, at least for a little while he practices. But I guess in a way you have to actually do it and practice it to get better. But in any case, I mean, he's still going to be hated no matter what, even if he had great mic skills.
What happened with Reigns, in my opinion, 2 years ago, the Royal Rumble, where Batista won, and Roman Reigns, I think, was the final guy. Roman Reigns should have won that year, and I think that he would be put over right now. People would like him. They liked him still with the Shield, and he still had a lot of momentum. They waited a year too late, and then everybody hated Batista when he won it. And then he won it the next year, and then nobody wanted him to win that because everybody wanted, I believe, Daniel Bryan.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. Daniel Bryan was supposed to win that Royal Rumble, at least according to what the crowd wanted. And it ended up being Roman Reigns' year, and they did nothing with it, as usual.
What they gave us was obviously a bunch of shit. They fucked us over big time. And now they're just shoving more and more Roman Reigns up our ass. I'm about sick of Roman Reigns. I don't think he's that good of a wrestler. I don't even know that he has that much of a look. I mean, what is his look? Muscular? Oh, let's see. That's what, 90% of the wrestlers?
It's everybody. And they make him out to be this really big guy, but if you look at his stature, he's really not that much bigger than we are.
He's really not that much bigger than Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins either. I always kind of portrayed them as a little smaller. They're not, but it's just kind of just portrayed them that way. Reigns, I don't see nothing special about him. Triple H, real quick, I think, is it just me or is his interviews just kind of long and boring?
I think his interviews have always been long and boring, just like his matches. They're very predictable. He's going to say that he runs the world and you need to bow down, blah, blah, blah. It's really disgusting what they've done with the title because it is really not even the main event of WrestleMania anymore. It's a secondary match, and until they find a worthy champion, it's going to be that way. And now it's time for the best segment, the WWE Tag Team Champions. So the New Day, by far, is the best thing on Raw, period.
They are entertaining. They always keep it fresh. They do something different every week. Very entertaining.
I don't think we've had a tag team like them in a long time. Who was the last one that you would say you really wanted to watch as much as the New Day?
I don't know that there is one. Not since maybe the Attitude Era. Maybe.
Yeah, it goes way back.
Yeah, it's not been anything recent. I'll tell you what I don't want to see is the League of Nations.
Oh my gosh, do we have to even see them on TV?
Oh, they are the most boring, bland shit, just put together patchwork bullshit that you can imagine. I mean, it's horrible.
You know, there's some good tag teams that would make good rivals for the New Day, and here they have to put together another group of four. How many groups of four do we have going right now?
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. We have more than we need, that's for sure. I'm really afraid they're going to let them have the titles.
That would be the worst thing ever. Now, I would be okay with them dropping the title to a tag team that could give them a good long-term feud. But there's not going to be anything good coming out of a feud between the League of Nations and the New Day.
No, I mean, who else do you got? Lucha Dragons, the Usos? No.
Well, maybe Cesaro and Tyson Kidd.
Yes, if they can come back. Now, I did like them. Now, they didn't have maybe the entire package like the New Day, but they definitely had potential and was getting momentum.
Yeah, they were very entertaining while they were tag team champions. But the tag team division is really, really weak right now. And it's
been weak.
Yeah, it's a good thing the New Day is there because otherwise they would have nothing. Okay, really quickly, what do you think about the Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose match?
I think it can be good. I think with the weapons, it will probably add some intrigue to this match. Otherwise, I think it would be pretty much run-of-the-mill. But with the weapons, I think it'll be good. As long as they stay out of the crowd and they do some, innovative things with them and, break some stuff, I think it'll be somewhat exciting.
That's really all you can say. It just kind of is there, and there's not a lot of hype for it. It's going to be a decent match. There's nothing really negative you can say, nothing super positive either. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, I did like the segment they just had on Raw with Brock Lesnar out there talking, and then Dean Ambrose bringing his little lunatic wagon out there, and him loading up the weapons into there. And I did notice the chainsaw, but he grabbed that kendo stick. He said, "Fuck this kendo stick," because the kendo stick sucks. It makes noise. Fuck the kendo stick.
Yeah, fuck the kendo stick, and you can't say weapons. That's not PC.
Oh, yeah, PC. So we got PC Principal out here saying we can't say weapons. Paul Heyman, of course, he says fuck that. He doesn't care. That's cool. But, yeah, you know what? We'll see what happens. Not the reason I'm watching WrestleMania, but, just somewhat excited just to see how it ends. All right, we got the Intercontinental title match. I'm thinking Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, those are probably our two highlight superstars.
It seems that this match is built around them because it's really the only personal feud that they're pushing as a storyline. And I think that something crazy's got to happen between these two guys during the match. There's going to be some kind of crazy move off the ladder that's going to steal the show. Maybe end up being the best segment of the entire WrestleMania.
They typically are. I don't think they really have the star power in this match. I'm excited to actually see this one. I think you got some people that can do some great moves, but you just ain't got the names in there. I think those are your two best guys.
Yeah, I think you're right about the star power. But if you look back at some of the old Money in the Bank matches, there were only a couple of big names, and then you had some filler guys. But even the filler guys did some great moves.
They did. I think Cody Rhodes or Stardust. I'm sorry, would hate to get that wrong. I think he will have a few shining moments. Who else we got in there? We got
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler. If he don't do the moves, he'll at least sell them.
Yeah, he can sell anything.
He can sell the shit out of some stuff.
He needs to be able to sell his way to the top, though, because no matter what, it's like there's this ceiling above his head, and they're saying you're not going to get above this. So we closed Raw with yet another Triple H and Roman Reigns segment. What did you think of that?
I don't know why we had basically a third segment with them. It wasn't any better. I didn't see anything that wasn't, made me think, hey, this match is going to be any better. I think this will probably be the worst match of that night.
I think you're right about that. This is shaping up to be the worst match of WrestleMania, just based on the fact that both of these guys are pretty boring. The crowd is not into it. In fact, they hate Roman Reigns to death.
Yeah, he got a horrible reaction. My favorite thing of that segment, though, was when the fans chanted, "You still suck. You still suck. Roman, you still suck." Match of the night. What would be your match that you would pick that was top performance?
Not much to pick from, but if I'm going to have to pick one, it's going to have to be the New Day, Kofi Kingston against Alberto Del Rio. Wasn't a great match, but because the New Day was in it, they made it entertaining, and especially the part with the trombone when Xavier played La Cucaracha and then Kofi super kicked Alberto Del Rio. I think that was the defining segment of the night. Well, that's it for our first ever Raw reactions. Any final thoughts?
I'm looking forward, I guess, just to see WrestleMania, just because it is WrestleMania. I mean, it is the Super Bowl of wrestling. Just want to see what happens, where we go with things. We'll go from there. I would say it's going to be a shit fest ultimately, but, hey, we'll see.
And as always,
Hey, my brothers rock. Hey, my brothers rock. Ham, my brothers rock. Ham, my brothers rock. Ham, my brothers rock.